Welcome back to the Gay Racing Podcast. And it's Zack and Alex back. Everything's back to normal.
Yeah.
Is this the worst week of the year? Back to normal. We went from the Indy 500, the Coke 600. Now we go to just Gateway in Detroit. We had some dramatic races. We're going to talk about those today. But at least we're not in a normal month. It is
very true.
It is Pride Month. Oh my gosh. Happy Pride Month, everybody.
They're talking about you, Zack. Yay, happy Pride, Zack.
Oh my gosh. Well, you're the one with the little boyfriend teammate, Alex. So,
well, aren't you the boyfriend teammate?
I mean, maybe, but you have a boyfriend teammate. So,
true.
I don't know.
That does make me a bit gayer. So. You have a point. You got a point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some people celebrate Pride in different ways. We'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah.
Certain IndyCar
people
drivers
celebrate Pride with some homophobia. But
I'm a little bit mean sometimes. So
sometimes
I'm kind of mean to you. So like I call you gay and stuff. So maybe I don't know. We'll talk about what Santino meant later. But
yeah, happy Pride, even to all the bullies such as my boyfriend teammate.
So while it might be kind of like Indy and Charlotte was last week, such big events, and now we're back to normal, we actually have we had two very dramatic races to talk about. NASCAR at Gateway, which was surprisingly dramatic in a positive way, and then IndyCar at Detroit, which was the classic IndyCar circus at a street course. Which
it was dramatic in two very different ways.
Yeah, but we're gonna start with NASCAR at Gateway first, where we had a surprise winner and the only Penske winner of the weekend, Austin Cindric. Oh my gosh! Cool. What a way for Austin Cindric to lock himself into the playoffs. Big deal, surprise winner. He qualified on pole too, right? Or at least
he qualified second.
Oh, he qualified second to McDowell, right? Like, what a weekend! It's one of those things about NASCAR that's always fun to see, just like a random weekend where a team just hits it. And that was this weekend for the two team. Gateway's a very unique track. There's nothing like it on the schedule. That's cool. And he won it in a bit dramatic fashion because, his teammate Ryan Blaney ran out of fuel. But before we get into that, Austin Cindric, our friend Jackson Todd has a stat, Alex, right?
Yep.
And
it
does.
Do you want me to talk about it? I'll talk about it.
You talk about it. That's why I was leading it. I was boyfriend teammate. I'm passing it off to you.
Okay, boyfriend teammate. So Jackson Todd, our friend, basically third in line here at the Gay Racing Podcast. He always has
is he our boyfriend teammate?
I don't know. Is there only two boyfriend teammates? I don't know how that works. Maybe he's just a teammate. I don't know. I don't know. But
I can have as many boyfriend teammates as I want. I'm sorry, I can't. That's funny.
But he has a stat, and if you've listened for a while, you know about it. He has this 100 start stat, and Cup. Once you get to 100 starts, that's about when you start to pick up the heat, right? Well, Austin Cindric, this was his 94th Cup start, and in the off season, he and I talked about looking forward to this season, and he said, Austin Cindric, I bet he's really going to start picking it up and maybe get a win this year. And look, he did. And, Cindric hasn't had a great season by any means. This kind of came out of nowhere, this very solid run. Because not even Cindric, it was all three Penske cars are running really good in this Gateway race. And that was kind of the first time all three had shown speed.
Tell you what,
so
Ford's picked it up too.
They have.
Like, I almost wonder, is Chevy and Toyota like testing things right now? Or has Ford really caught back up? Because, Penske was so strong yesterday. And I think I see shadows of what they have been shown to do at these flatter kind of 1 mile short tracks. And they're going for three. Remember, they're going for 3 straight Cup Series championships. And it's crazy to think. Is Cindric one of them? Is Cindric a contender? He's in the playoffs now. We joked about Ryan Blaney winning the championship last year, and then he did it. I'm just saying. I don't know.
It's true. But this was definitely Austin Cindric's best race of his career that's not on a super speedway or a road
Or a road
course, at least in
course.
the Cup Series.
Yeah.
Like, he really impressed me. I didn't think he would win the race by any means. I don't think anyone did until the very last lap, but really good for him. He really needed this. A lot of people are questioning why he has a ride at
He's
Penske and
been on the
everything. Like
hot seat.
his dad is Tim Cindric. I mean, there's definitely pressure there, even if your dad is very high up in the company. But
Yeah.
I knew he had it in him, and we need to see more consistent results from him. I mean, he really proved that he has it in the Xfinity series, but we just hadn't really seen that in Cup yet
Yeah,
until
Austin
yesterday.
Cindric's a weird case because I think he's one of those drivers that doesn't mesh well with the next gen style of racing.
Hmm.
But in addition, though, he is a rookie, right? It takes a while for rookies to kind of get up to speed. At the same time, though, last year was not a good season for him at all. He showed he was so slow,
Yeah,
and even
but
this year he's 18th in points. Like,
yeah, and to clarify, he's not a rookie like you're saying, but you just mean he's early on in his
well, yeah,
career.
like like his first few like seasons, right? Like because we
Yeah,
saw that with Christopher Bell like a little bit, but then again he won in like his second full time season, so maybe that doesn't.
but I think
I
another
don't know.
thing with Cindric is that Ford's kind of been struggling. I know they've won the past 2
Yeah,
championships, but they haven't really had, the speed to just light the whole series on fire. Like
yeah,
they haven't really been the best, and he's learning the car. So maybe now that they're picking back up speed, we'll see Cindric
yeah.
that we saw at
But
Xfinity.
the counter to that though is his teammates are out there winning championships, so it's like.
That's
But
right.
again, he's still this is only his third full time year, so I mean
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of it's cloudy, but
But but
we'll see how he does in the playoffs because I think this team
yeah,
is, their goal right now is to get out of that first round, which is going to be a tall task with the way they've been running.
right.
So,
But I mean, he has Daniel Suarez in that first round. I feel like there
well,
is a potential
actually,
to advance.
isn't that
Yeah,
first round Atlanta, which he's good at super speedways.
you're right.
He finished top 5 there, and
And
Watkins
Suarez
Glen,
won Atlanta, so I mean, it might be
Watkins
harder
Glen as
actually.
well, and Cindric. He's a good road racer. He
Mhm.
hasn't shown that much good in the next gen car, but still. So that first round's going to be
Potential.
wild. The
Yeah.
first round's going to be wild.
We'll see a shock exit for sure, I bet.
Yeah,
And then how Austin Cindric won this race was crazy because
yeah.
Christopher Bell and Ryan Blaney had a fantastic battle. Like, we were texting. We had so much fun watching that.
It was actually
And
surprisingly really entertaining.
yeah, because Christopher Bell had 18 lap fresher tires than Ryan Blaney. And I'm like, well, this is going to be over. Ryan's going to put up a good fight. But no, Blaney stayed ahead of him. And they were side by side several laps, but Blaney kept persevering up on the high side. He threw some blocks on the low side. It was a very compelling battle. Like, I know these cars are hard to pass in and everything, but in
It was
this
a
case,
It's the best
I,
next gen can get. The side by side racing,
yeah,
side drafting each other. They were switching lanes at one point, I believe.
mhm,
Yeah.
it was fun. But then Christopher Bell starts having an engine issue, and it sounds like that might have been like he overshifted or something that caused the engine to have an issue just from this battle with Blaney.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's so
crazy.
cool to me.
I'm glad you think it's cool too, because that felt like such a classic NASCAR race.
Yeah.
Where it's like the cars got pushed to their limits, the drivers got pushed to their limits. A simple little mistake took Blaney out with the fuel. Like we'll get to that in a minute. Like, but the engine fading, like we talked about that with IndyCar during qualifying for the 500. It's like we want to see the engine manufacturers pushing the limits of these engines, and we're I guess yesterday in that case we saw Bell pushing the limits of his own engine because Gateway's a weird track where you have to shift a lot. I think they're shifting down to third gear, so they're shifting 2 gears down to third in the middle of the corners. So, I
Yeah.
guess if you, I don't, again, I'm gay. If you over rev the car, maybe that's hurting the engine a little
You're
bit. I don't know.
gay? Wait, Zach, you're gay? Oh my gosh, happy Pride! I
Oh,
already
was I
told you
not
that
supposed to
earlier, but
say
happy
that?
Pride. Aw.
Maybe
I
I
hope
waited till Pride
everyone
Month
in
to
the
come out.
comments, I hope everyone in the comments is like, "Oh, happy Pride, Zach. I love that you're gay and you don't know anything about the
I should
technical
go to
parts
the
of
comments.
racing."
I should tell the comments of the NASCAR Pride Month post. Maybe I'll get a lot of support from there,
Yeah, you might get a lot of support. Yeah.
or a lot of
Oh my
some.
gosh, I'm so happy for you. Oh my
You're
gosh.
so
Yay.
God, you are so. I don't have a word. I'm
Mhm.
speechless. Um,
What are boyfriend teammates for, right?
I don't know. I'm actually still trying to figure that out. I actually don't know what boyfriend teammates are for. I'll tell you what, Blaney is
Gosh.
gonna need a
Yeah.
new boyfriend fueler, a boyfriend fueler. Cause
Mm.
like, girl, how y'all not get that? How do you run out of gas? What? I don't get it. Like, here's the
So
thing. The fuel window is huge in that last stage. It's like 75% of the last stage. I don't get it. How do you run out of fuel? You had plenty of time.
and apparently they only put 1 tank gas in there while the 2 had 2 tanks in there. So it's like, I don't understand how that happens. Like,
I
did they
do.
just were they trying to short pit to get out of the pits faster? Like, I
I mean,
don't.
yeah, because you're gonna want to like only put fuel in the car, like because they pitted early in the run too, so that means they still had some fuel in the tank, right? So they're probably like, oh, we probably only need 1 can here to top it off. Apparently, they needed a little bit more than 1 can. I wonder how close Cindric was on fuel, but
I don't know.
Cindric pit later too?
I
I
think
believe
so.
Cindric pit a bit
That sounds
later.
right.
Ooh, that's it's just that sucks. And Blaney was
Yeah,
very frustrated on the radio. He should be like
he
that
should.
sucks.
And
That's 5 playoff points, and he doesn't even
well,
have
you
a win yet.
that's what I was gonna say. You pointed it out to me. Like, he lost, like, I believe 24 points because he was gonna win, and then he finished 24th. He's only plus 47 above the cut line right now.
Yep.
And I mean, if Logano wins, Logano's currently below the cut line. That would push Blaney a little bit further
Does
down.
that
And I'm not saying Blaney will miss the playoffs or anything, but like, he's not in the best situation after losing Atlanta by an inch and then this.
does that include Larson? The cut line, does that include Larson or exclude Larson? Because
I don't know. I got
where did
this
you get
from
it
Toby
from?
Christie, tobychristie.com. Our friend Taylor Kitchen works there. So, hi Taylor. But
Uh,
I don't know.
well, so if it doesn't include Larson, I'm trying. My mouse is broken. I
I
cannot
I
scroll.
bel I believe it includes Larson
I
because on their graphic it says pending waiver or something like that, or
okay.
awaiting waiver.
So
So I believe
okay.
this includes Larson.
Okay. Because I was gonna say if Larson then gets thrown back in, that's gonna be a lot worse. But I mean, yeah, it's
True.
they need wins,
Good
right?
point.
They need playoff points. I mean, they
Well,
helped them out a little bit last year, so
yeah.
it's gonna get tight. So
Hopefully it's not like a
that
few
really
years
sucks.
ago when Blaney and Truex were like right on the line,
We get
either
more
or would
surprise
make it
winners.
in.
I mean, you
Yeah.
never know. We're going to some new tracks like Iowa. I mean, you don't
I
know how many
mean,
winners we can get. We got some road
i-
courses.
if
It's gonna be
Austin
crazy
Cindric
summer.
can win, if Austin Cindric can win
If
on a non-pro
Harrison Burton can
course,
win, right?
why not?
Oh,
I
I thought
mean,
you was
look
gonna
at
tell me I'm stupid and delusional.
well, with super speedways, like, I wouldn't rule that out. But then you look at Todd
We've
Gilliland
only
has
won.
had some solid runs. Michael McDowell won the pole, and he finished top 5, I believe. I mean, I wouldn't rule out like a front row motorsports win. I
Yeah.
mean, Kyle Busch, I know you're saying Kyle Busch ain't gonna win again, but Kyle Busch is minus 20 right
No,
now
he's
on the
not
cut
winning
line.
again. I'm sorry. He's literally squeezing Kyle Larson down on lap 177. Like, for what reason?
And well, let's talk about that now because that was a weird situation because Kyle Busch was pretty
Yeah,
much
let's use
having
their last names, please.
Kyle Busch was kind of having a little tantrum. I don't know what he was mad about
He's been having a
beforehand,
lot of tantrums in the car lately.
but he was really just keeping Larson really, really low on the front stretch. And at Gateway, you need room to go into turn one. Like that,
He's not
it's
having
a
a good week.
narrow, more the entry is kind of narrow. It's not really
It's
a multi
sketchy.
groove.
It's
Yeah,
really sketchy going into turn one. And I play iRacing, so I'm an expert.
exactly.
Yeah.
So they go into the corner, and Larson is right on the as low as you can go, and then gets a little
Yeah.
loose, and then it takes both the Kyles out. I
Yeah.
don't know what Kyle Larson's supposed to do there because Kyle
Uh
Busch just didn't give him room.
yeah, I mean, I guess like you would back out, but we're next gen racing, and when you get beside somebody, you can't just give that up. So,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm of course, obviously, I'm blaming Kyle Busch on that, but also it's just Kyle Busch has had a weird time. lately in like May. Like the whole All-Star race thing where he just like lost his cool and wrecked Ricky on lap 2
On lap 2. Yeah.
after he put himself into the wall, like, and then this whole thing where he's squeezing Kyle down very aggressively. He wrecked lap 2 at Darlington in the trucks. I'm not trying to be a hater, but I am trying to be a hater, actually. Because, like,
Hmm.
what's going on with him?
It's now been a year since he's won a race. So it was Gateway a year ago.
And that he will never win again. I'm sticking by that. I don't think he's going to win again. The way this is going, the way RCR is, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's not looking good.
But Zach, RCR looked kind of good early in the race. Like Kyle Busch and even Austin Dillon were running fairly good at the start.
Wasn't
You
that
don't
just
think that's like
strategy,
something to
though?
come up?
Wasn't that just strategy, or I feel like that was just strategy?
It might have been. I'm just like, they were running better than they had
Honey,
been,
if you
though.
put me at the front of the field, I'll run up there too. Like, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying,
But,
Kyle Busch is not,
yeah,
he's not in it. He's not locked in. I don't think he's going to make the playoffs at this point. Didn't I predict that?
you did. Yeah.
Ooh,
I think that might have been on the preseason show we did with Taylor Kitchen on Above the Yellow Line. I think that's when you said that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I could see that coming
But
true.
let's talk about the other Kyle involved in that, because still no announcement on a waiver. I hate this topic, and I think the
It's so
longer this
exhausting.
goes, the more stupid this is. I understand why NASCAR's a little puzzled on what to do here. Because
Yes,
their
I
rule
understand it too.
the rule does say, like, hey, you can't just skip one of our races and do something else, right?
And
Like, I
Kyle
get
Larson
it.
skipped a race. He did.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, and a lot of people are wondering, like, why is NASCAR dragging this out? Because they don't know what to do yet. Like, that's what Jeff Gluck was
Yeah.
reporting, or at least claim. I don't know if that was a report, but my thing is, I think this all depends on what the intention of that. You have to make all the starts. You have to start all the races. What is the intention of that rule? Because if the intention of that rule is that you don't want part-time teams to get into the playoffs, like SVG winning at Chicago last year, that can't get him into the playoffs. That would be really stupid, right? Is
Right.
that the intention, or is the intention to keep full-time drivers from skipping races because they don't feel like racing at Sonoma this weekend, for example? Because if that's the case, I don't know. Almost in both of those situations, it's like Larson had full intentions of running the 600, but he did choose to not run it. He could have run it at the expense of the 500. It's just, I don't know. It just depends on this whole Indy situation. Almost feels like a loophole. Like they never thought that this situation would happen when they made the rule. And
Yeah.
it's to the point where it's like, I feel like they need to give Larson a waiver to avoid the controversy. But then they need to change this rule because we never need to be in this
Yeah.
situation again.
Well, the rule needs to be either completely removed and just say you have to like qualify for all the starts or something to make the playoffs. Like they need to adjust it because we don't need the waiver system with this current format, in my opinion.
Other motorsports don't have a waiver system.
Because, for example, like SVG winning like that race last year,
Yeah.
would that put him in the playoffs by definition? I guess, but everyone knows he's not going to run those last 10 races.
If that was
That's
the
not going to
intention
happen.
of the rule to keep part-time teams from getting in, then Larson should get the waiver. But again,
Yeah.
if it's like you really don't want teams to skip races on purpose, then, or really not drivers to skip races on purpose, well, I don't know. I mean, I get NASCAR's point. Also, I think what really is the kind of cause of this is when Hendrick said that that they're going to make the 600 a priority, and then they lied, and then they didn't make the 600 a priority. I can see why NASCAR's a little upset about that.
Yeah. But my problem with this is they had over a year to think of every possible scenario possible.
Good point,
And
Alex.
they didn't get this situated. Like, they didn't sit down with NASCAR and say, "Hey, we're gonna put all this effort into the Indy 500 and all this money, resources, time, effort, and you're gonna support us, but what if it rains? What if there's a rain delay at the 500, and we really wanna make sure we can run the Indy 500." I know they were saying priority is 600, but in
Well, that's
this
the
exact
thing.
scenario, right? Like,
I
why
think
wasn't there a plan just in case?
I feel like NASCAR probably said, "Well, the priority needs to be the 600," or that's the assumption. And then Hendrick said, "Okay, our priority is the 600," and then they didn't follow that. Which, to be fair, again, I was calling for screw the 600, run the Indy 500 because he has a chance to
Same.
win or
But
compete, right?
the problem is if they don't give him a waiver, which I still think they will. I think they're ultimately going to just rewrite this rule. They're going to give him a waiver and then like we're changing it beyond here. But if they don't, that kills the double. That just
Oh,
straight up kills the double unless it's an IndyCar driver doing the 600.
yep,
Like
that kills
straight
it.
up. And they can't do that. Like this I know it only happens like once every like 10 years or so,
It's a big deal.
but it's a huge deal. It is huge for NASCAR. It's huge for
It's
IndyCar
huge for
too.
motors. It's huge for American motorsports.
But Kyle Larson is now a global name because the Indy 500 is a global event. It's not just a North America event.
Yeah.
And NASCAR denying an appeal here would just block it. And sure, would anyone really know that this happened? No. But then we're just not going to have this happen again because Ryan Blaney wants to do the double, right? As an example, he wouldn't be able to do it as long as he's a full time driver.
Or at least there's
The only way,
risks. Yeah.
right? The only way you would see the double happen now is if an IndyCar driver came over and did the 600. I, I
And
don't,
even with
I don't
honestly,
like
it's
it.
almost like that because of all this drama.
Hmm.
At this point, the double's dead almost because they don't want to go through this drama. Like, I don't know. Because if NASCAR has to make a judgment call here, I think it's obvious what they need to do. They need to just why would you take Larson out of the playoffs
Well, it's a
when he's
huge
second in
fan
points?
base. He's second in points. He's done
Yeah.
so much for the sport all of May. Like, how many IndyCar fans, only IndyCar fans, watched the All Star race? The All Star race ratings were like way up compared to what
Like
they
they're
normally
worried
are.
about
And that's such a useless race because they all went to watch him after Indy 500 qualifying.
yeah.
Like,
Like why are they
you're
worried
blocking it
about the
off.
integrity of the playoffs when it's the playoffs? Just let like he Larson should be in. Like I just it's so
Well,
they
and
need to
then you
change
run
this
into
rule. It's so
another
dumb.
situation where if they don't, you're going to have a situation where Kyle Larson very well could be in the owners' playoffs, win at Phoenix, and your champion, the driver's champion, finishes second.
Just like that almost happened in the 2022 almost. I'm like
It's just like
so
that's
over
such
it.
a because then you're gonna have people saying Kyle Larson's the real champion that of this year. You're gonna have all sorts of you're
And
opening a
that's a
can of
black eye.
worms.
Yeah.
Yes,
So they just need to give Larson
you
the
can't do it.
waiver. I'm
I
tired
think
of talking about this.
they're gonna rewrite the rule. Yeah, me too. But
I this is
I don't
almost
know.
like kind of like I kind of hate the playoffs again because this is stupid. Because
I
also,
don't even
how
think
would
it's
you rewrite the rule? I don't.
I don't think it's the playoffs' fault.
You do
It's
have to
the
draw a
rules'
line. You
fault.
can't have like part-time drivers getting into. I don't know. This is so
Yeah.
stupid. I hate it.
Yeah. Well, we'll move on. Hopefully by next week we get an answer on this
I'll
and we
tell you
can
what
move
though.
on.
As we wrap up this gateway section, that was a
Mhm.
surprisingly good race. Because I feel like normally gateway's been like kind of meh. And yeah, some
Yeah.
parts were a little bit of a lull, but the strategy got really interesting.
Yeah.
I feel
The
like
last stage was really good. I didn't really care for stage 1, but like the last
I
stage was
think
really
we
good.
I think we were just exhausted from the IndyCar race.
Yeah. We were
We were
texting.
very
I was like, I'm not paying
mentally
attention.
we were very mentally exhausted from whatever we just saw at Detroit, which is
Yeah.
I guess we're about to get into. Are we gonna recap the cut line or are we just gonna Oh, do we need
Yeah.
to do this thing? We're
Yes, we
gonna
have
do
two
this thing?
things to do before we go into Detroit. Little points overview. We kind of went over it. Blaney is plus 47. Bubba Wallace plus 13. Chris Buescher, crazy. He's as close to the cut line as plus 10. Chase
The
Briscoe's minus
sticker.
10.
He needs a
The
sticker.
sticker.
The
Logano
sticker.
minus 13. Kyle Busch minus 20. And before we go into IndyCar at Detroit, you might have seen on our socials, but we have a promo code over at Home Field Apparel.
Yeah, I'm
on your
gonna
first
show it on the
purchase.
screen, like some of the stuff that
Yeah.
they have. Like they have little racing collections. Like there's an Indianapolis Motor Speedway collection. Look at this shirt. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Right?
cute. Oh my god, where's my
Yeah.
wallet? These are cute. Carb Day
Yeah.
shirts. Snake Pit. Oh, these are cute. Oh
So
my
yeah, you can
gosh.
get all these. They have Indy 500. They
They
have
have Hendrick,
McLaren. They have Hendrick
McLaren.
Motorsports.
Oh my god, rainbows for Pride Month, right? Yes, the
Yeah,
original Pride Month icon, Jeff Gordon. Yes. Oh, these are
as Townsend
cute.
Bell would tell you. Yeah.
I love
So
these. Wow.
yeah. So on your first purchase, you can use GRP 217 at Home Field Apparel. You get a 15% discount on your first purchase. So
That's
they have a lot of cool
GRP
stuff.
127.
GRP 217.
217. Oh my god. It's
Yeah,
two
don't do what Zach just did.
well, it's 217 because Joseph Newgarden number 2, Kyle Larson number 17.
Exactly.
So it's
Yes.
GRP 217.
Yes.
This is so
Yep.
cute.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And
Good.
Zach and I
Slay of the
gotta
week to Home Field
yeah, slay
Apparel.
the week. Yeah. Zach and I gotta go pick stuff out over there. So
Oh, I know what I'm picking. I'm picking that Indy 500 shirt. That pink and
Ooh.
those are my colors.
those are your colors.
Oh my
So yeah,
god.
do that. We really appreciate it. They'd really appreciate it. GRP 2117 over on Home Field Apparel. Your
No, you
first
said
purchase.
217. You said 2117. It's two.
Oh.
What the hell, Alex?
We're so bad at this. We're so bad at this.
217. God, you should have just
217.
put GRP Joseph. That's all you should have done. Our King Joseph.
All right.
Oh my god.
Well, let's head over to Detroit. We went from Slay of the Week to, unfortunately, the Flop of the Week because this race was awful.
It was not the ideal follow-up to the Indianapolis 500.
This is like
that's
the
for sure.
worst race you could have after the Indy 500.
I feel bad for this whole event, the Detroit Grand Prix, because they used to have this event at Belle Isle, which I thought was a pretty cool road course. They had some good racing there, and they had a double header. They had a race on Saturday and a race on Sunday. Sure, the double header, that's probably not necessary. You probably don't need to do that. Okay, just have a race on Sunday. But this track sucks. I love how you remember last week when Joseph Newgarden, he said, we could do F1, IndyCar drivers could do F1, and then this whole war between IndyCar fans and F1 fans. IndyCar fans were like, well, while we were having, the greatest race in the world, going 3 wide into turn 1 and making all these passes, you guys were just doing a parade around the streets of Monaco. Well, then IndyCar fans, y'all come back next week. We do our own little parade around the streets of Detroit, but instead of passing, we just wreck every restart. So that's not a good look.
No, it's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
I know you're not going to get many people tuning in after the Indy 500 because of a lot of reasons.
I regret tuning in.
I do too. Like, this is
I should have
awful.
spent my Sunday doing something else. God.
Like, I'm fixated on video games again right now. Like, I could have been playing the remastered Paper Mario game.
I could have been playing IndyCar on iRacing instead. Probably had more fun.
But this race sucked. Flop of the week. It's not flop of the year contender, in my opinion. But like,
I don't know.
Thermal you might
was
nominate
really
it.
Bad.
It was pretty bad.
It's just like as a follow up to the Indy 500. Damn.
True. Good point.
And it's gonna happen again next year. There's no plans to change it. Girl.
And by the way, Penske Entertainment coming out saying we think this is what our fans liked. It was probably very entertaining. It's like you are so tone deaf, and that is why you should not own the series. Oh my god.
That makes me cry. God. Oh my god. I can't. That actually
makes very me so entertaining. Angry. It's like, no. This was not fun to watch.
There were parts of it that were really entertaining. Like the whole weather situation where it started to rain. That was really entertaining.
But Zach, they didn't get to do anything. They just stayed under yellow.
Exactly.
The entire time. That was the most engaged I was with the race, and they were under yellow the entire time.
I'll tell you what, there was also like the early part of the race where Palou was like falling. Maybe I'm just an Alex Palou hater, but Palou was falling on the green
for the
tires.
Championship, it was engaging.
Yeah, and then like the strategy became, okay, so we need these green tires are kind of not a good tire to be on for that long. So what are the teams going to do about that? And that made that race actually get really interesting for a little bit, right? But then it just devolved into chaos. I forgot what even brought out that first caution that started the chain of who ruined the race. Because whoever brought out that first caution, they ruined the race. Wasn't
There
it
were so many
Ferrucci?
cautions.
Wasn't it when Ferrucci hit Elio?
Was it?
I feel like it
I think it
was.
I think it was actually because
Oh my
Santino
god.
caused the first lap 1 incident, or at least he was part of it, and then later yeah, I think it
I think
was.
it was. Oh my
And
god.
I don't know,
Santino
there
had a
were
whole
so
weekend.
many.
He got way too excited over Pride Month.
Oh, yeah, he was
Just
so
way too
excited.
excited. My
But,
god.
well, let's kinda talk about the highlights of the race because Scott Dixon did win again, and unlike Ryan Blaney, he did fuel save to win the race, and
You said unlike Ryan Blaney.
this
Dude,
guy
I made fun of Ryan Blaney all week too. I forgot to mention that earlier. I was making fun of Ryan Blaney all week and then that happens. That's crazy. I was calling him
you
Mickey
were.
Mouse and everything, and then that happens. That's
Well,
crazy. Anyways, but Scott Dixon is not Mickey Mouse,
we
actually.
went to a Disney exhibit at the museum while he was in town, and whenever we were by Mickey Mouse, he's like, "That's Ryan Blaney."
It's okay, but then you got me
Uh,
back and said this is Kyle Larson's playoffs.
yeah, this is Kyle Larson's double attempt.
Yeah.
But anyway, Scott
Scott
Dixon, he
Dixon, if
won
he's
the
not Mickey
GOAT.
Mouse, he's Master Chief. He's so serious.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
he's legit. He's only 9 wins from tying the most wins of all time in
What a
IndyCar.
king. I hope he gets there.
I
He's
hope he
not
does
slowing
too.
down.
No.
Like,
And
what the heck? How is he doing this? He's so old. Old
I have
man.
so much respect for Scott Dixon. I really want him to get another championship. I think that'd be
And
so
this year
cool
might be the
because
year.
all the greats in racing tend to have 7 championships in their respective discipline, and he has 6. He's 1 short of that illustrious 7th championship. I think he could definitely get there, and if he keeps this up, I mean, I think he's gonna probably get there. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he has to fight through Alex Below, and then Joseph Newgarden's gonna have all the ovals later, but
Yeah.
I mean, Dixon was really good at Indy. He won Gateway last year. It's not like the ovals are gonna come and Joseph's just gonna take the points lead. Dixon and Pillow are gonna
Dixon's
be
good
really
at
good.
ovals too. Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna be an interesting championship battle to watch. I think especially since Pelot had a bit of a rough. He kind of fell victim to the chaos, didn't he? Because I don't even know where he finished, but a lot of guys fell victim to the chaos yesterday. Like Joseph was one of them. Will Power hit everything but he might have hit the pace car actually.
Power
He
still
might have,
finished 6th, by the way.
which yeah, crazy.
Yeah,
Pato have like didn't he get involved in that lap 1 incident and was like in
he
the back
was.
or he had to
I think
pit early
Rossi
or
was
something?
too.
Yeah,
Both
Pato
he
still
and
finished
Rossi, I think,
7th.
were in there.
Yeah, where did Pelot? Pelot finished, wow, 16th, and that ends his top 10 streak that went back
And
all the way to the beginning of last year.
remember, Pillow finished no worse than 8th last year. That's already
Yeah,
he ain't doing
wow.
that again this year.
Yeah,
Crazy. But yeah, poor Joseph. I think with him, we talk about him not only because we were fans of his, but also for the championship with the ovals later. This was a huge blow to his championship hopes again.
because he
He
needed
had
to stay.
2.
Well, the good news is at least Pelot had issues
Mhm.
because, like,
But Pillow still finished ahead of him is the
yes,
problem.
because he needed to like really maintain or gain on Pelot a little bit in these road
Yeah.
courses.
And so Joseph, he had 2 slow pit stops. Just one time, like the hose, it wouldn't put fuel in the car. And then there was another slow stop. He nearly
Jesus,
crashed into
Team
the
Penske.
crew members. And then he spun in front of Pillow. That's why Pillow finished back there besides the tire situation. And then Joseph broke his toe link. It was just like never ending stuff there. He was running like top 5s. Like he was looking like for a pretty good day. Wasn't there. Someone who did look really good until he didn't is Colton Herta. And look, you and I could have predicted this, Zach. He threw his race away. I think he had probably the best
Second
car.
straight week. Second straight week.
Yeah,
Second straight week. You can't make this
And,
up.
and look, I think he had the best car. I think he actually looked the best of anyone there. How many times have we seen that, though? However, in defense of Colton Herta, the move he made, that's like the only way you can pass on this stupid track It's
It
like
was a
that. You have to make
restart too. I
dive
mean,
bomb. Yeah.
yeah, and like we saw some of them, like Christian Lundgaard made a dive bomb on Scott Dixon earlier, and
Yeah.
Dixon, like wisely, just kind of let him have it. But that is kind of the problem with this track, and it's why we had so many cautions and restarts and restarts and cautions and wrecks, because everyone had to make their move going into that one hairpin, or if they didn't get the move done there, they have to find somewhere else while the field's still bunched up. I mean, that's just kind of, Colton Herta. Yeah, he probably should have been a little bit more patient, but it is a little bit hard to blame him, especially since his team kind of screwed him on strategy, because they
Yeah.
put him on wets, and then the rain stopped, and then the race didn't get back going. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
not a good weekend for a lot of. I think Scott Dixon is the only one leaving that race happy.
I will. I bet you that Marcus Ericsson's pretty happy after the
That too.
horrendous month he had. Came back to nearly win
He
the race.
needed that.
Actually, he was actually closing in. Shout out Marcus Armstrong, by the way, getting his first
He's
career
MVP.
IndyCar podium.
He's MVP. He's why Scott Dixon was able to win that. Well, I bet Dixon would have been able to fend for himself, but Armstrong, that was really impressive from him. Like, I'm very sold on this kid, to be honest.
And he and Dixon were both really close on fuel, and so Armstrong was on the same strategy. He also managed. Didn't run out of fuel until the race finished, so it was very.
He had the
impressive
harder
run from
job.
him.
Yeah. What I'm surprised is Herta did not put up a. Remember, Herta was like a lap down or about to go a lap down, and he was kind of pushing Dixon back into, into what was going to be. Was that Marcus Ericsson, like passing both Armstrong and Dixon. I'm a little surprised that Herta didn't put up more of a fight, because I love seeing team orders and stuff. I mean, we saw Sergio Perez hold up Lewis Hamilton at Abu Dhabi a few years ago, gave Max like 11 seconds on that gap.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. Come on, Herta. You got to hold up Dixon a little bit more harder. A little bit harder.
And I will say one thing cool about Detroit is that it is like the home of like GM, Chevrolet, but then Honda goes and sweeps the podium. And then there's a fun photo from Honda that has all of the Honda drivers on podium with the Chevrolet building in the background. The giant Chevrolet logo.
They swept the podium at Long Beach too.
Didn't they?
Yeah. They did.
Yeah.
They're on the. They are really good at these street courses this year.
Yeah, they didn't seem to have it really at Indy. At least in qualifying race trim, they were okay, but not great.
Well, the engines were blowing up last week.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to follow the rest of the season. But I want to end this real quick. Let's talk about the points, and then we'll talk about what they should do instead. Points: Dixon's the point leader, Pelot's minus 18, Power minus 31, and then after that, everyone's a race plus behind. Award minus 56, Rossi's minus 66. Then moving down to Joseph Newgarden, who is minus 88 in 10th place.
I feel like if Rossi can figure out how to start winning races, then I don't know. I'm seeing the light with him. I know I've been a bit of a hater, but I'm seeing the light with Rossi lately.
It's probably the best start to a season Rossi's had, I feel like, in a while.
He's going to Road America, and he's like, I feel like he used to be really good at Road America when he was with Andretti. So, like, I have faith in him. I don't know.
Yeah. And yeah, Road America is this weekend on NBC. Unfortunately, it's at the same time as the NASCAR race at Sonoma. So, hope you got two screens.
I know what race I'm watching, because Road America is like the best IndyCar race on a road course every year.
Yeah.
To be honest. I don't know why.
Sonoma's the last race for Fox. I'm probably not going to
It's repaved. Next gen road courses.
Right.
I don't know. I gotta go.
Was that your dog?
Sorry. Yes.
Happy Pride to Zack's dog. He's very happy and celebratory.
Yeah. My mom just got home, so he's like. Anyways,
Detroit. This not good. We said it time and time again, but in my opinion, what they really need to do is they need to have another oval, a speedway after the Indy 500. And I was telling you, like, what if they did Texas? Like, Texas not on the schedule this year. I feel like that'd be a really good time for it, because really double down on a high-speed oval after Indianapolis. go to Texas.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. Like, show
Yeah,
it's like what NASCAR did with Atlanta after the Daytona 500. Like,
exactly.
show people that just tuned into Indy why they should keep watching, right?
Yeah.
And
And then, Zach, they have the best road course after that with Road America.
yes, Road
And then you
America.
really
Yes.
get them in if they're really interested, hook them in with ovals, and then it's like, hey, we also have this amazing product at Road America. And
Yeah.
it's like that's the bulk of our season. It's like, oh my gosh, this series is crazy. But instead, we're doing whatever this is.
This track
Eh.
sucks. And like
And by the way, we
apparently
liked it. We were okay with it last year because it was a new layout. They didn't have as much of a wreck fest. It wasn't
yeah.
perfect, but we are like, oh, it's the first time. But this, no, I'm done with
These
it.
Mickey Mouse street courses are not for IndyCar. Like they're
Yeah.
just not for IndyCar. And also these cars are so tough. Like they were taking huge hits yesterday and the cars were staying together. I'm just like, wow, it was really impressive, but I think that kind of made the problem worse. Because then like,
Yeah.
well, I can hit this guy and it won't I don't know. My thing is I miss Belle Isle. I understand why they went away from it because the locals wanted Belle Isle, the island, to be free during the month of June, summer, obviously. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But if only there was an oval track in the state of Michigan that we could use
That
for
they've raced
Chevrolet.
at before, that'd be crazy.
We could call it the
Now,
Chevrolet 500.
now I know there are concerns with tracks like Michigan and adding more high speed ovals. I understand that, but I feel like you need more ovals.
That's the
Like
thing.
the core of the series is ovals. The Indianapolis 500, right?
You can see street racing in F1 and so many other racing series. You can see road course
Even
racing in
NASCAR
so many
now.
other
Even
series.
NASCAR
Right.
has street racing. Yeah.
You cannot see open wheel oval racing like what we saw at Indy anywhere else in the world. And I did not realize that until someone said it like during last week. It might have been David Land or somebody. And ever since they said that, I'm like, yeah, that's IndyCar's thing. That's what's going to make new fans, NASCAR fans be like, whoa, this is cool. Because I was watching, I had the IMSA race on the other day. And my mom was like, oh, is that Indy? And I'm like, no, that's not IndyCar. These are sports cars. I feel like their identity needs to get a little bit away from road and street courses a little bit. Like, you still obviously have some on the schedule, but man, they just, this just is not a good way to start the month of June.
No, I feel like at minimum, like bring Texas back. That'd be great, but have at least one more high speed speedway. Super speedway, right?
Yeah.
I really think you need at least one more to go after the Indy 500. I think that would be the perfect way to hook people in, promote the crap out of it during the actual race on TV, being like, hey, do you like this? That's what NASCAR did this year, and it seemed to work out. The ratings have stayed up this year for the most part.
Yeah.
Really hook them in and say, hey, do you like this? We're going to another one of these next week.
Yeah.
And I say Texas because it's been on the schedule. It's potentially just a 1 year thing.
It's been in June before. Like it's followed.
Yeah.
Not followed. It's like, I think it's followed the Detroit race before a few years ago.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I guess Milwaukee used to go after the Indy 500, and that'd be better than Detroit. I think even when it was Belle Isle, I think Milwaukee would be a better.
The
fit.
Milwaukee to Road America combo. I don't know if that works because they're both in the what's it called? Wisconsin.
They're both in Wisconsin, but
I'm like, what's that state called? Wisconsin.
But I'm saying one more time. I think the Indy 500, a Speedway, and then Road America would be like a perfect triple threat to get people.
I saw someone have like a perfect 6-way stretch that included those 3 tracks and then like Iowa, maybe Texas, and then maybe something else, maybe Mid Ohio for the 4th of July date. Sure, whatever. That would be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. The schedule, I think, just needs to be.
I think there's a big push to get Michigan back on the schedule. Whatever, maybe not.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen more people talk about it lately. I feel like it feels like it's a real possibility instead of it just being like a Fantasyland thing.
Well, and if they can't get Michigan's, it is a NASCAR on track, as is Homestead. Like, please just find a way. Find a way to get
Let's build
ovals.
One. Let's build
one. Yeah.
Let's get a shovel and a hammer and we'll build one.
Yes.
Call
Where are
it
we putting it?
oh, where are we putting it? In Virginia. My
In
backyard.
Virginia?
Let's put it in my backyard so I don't have to travel far.
I was gonna say, why don't put it in somewhere in the Northeast? Because Pocono's kind of got bad vibes. I know you love
No,
Pocono,
we need to get over
but
that. We need to go to Pocono. Pride month. We need a Pride month for Pocono. Happy Pride to Pocono Raceway. I'm glad Pocono. I'm glad Pocono is who she is. She's true to her identity.
she's a triangle.
She's a
She's
triangle. We
giving.
support our triangle racetracks out here. They're triangle
Yes.
phobic. You guys are just triangle phobic. Triphobic.
Well,
She's
tri-
trisexual.
we're allowed to make these jokes because we're gay. Anyway, uh, let's move on to the tea. Let's talk. Happy Pride, by the way. Have we
Happy
said that? Happy
Pride. Let's get
Pride.
close for this one. Happy
Yeah.
Pride, guys.
Happy Pride, you guys. Happy
Happy
Pride.
I hope everyone's having a great month. Oh my gosh. I'm glad we don't have to watch
Yes.
remember that awful show, Love Victor? That show was awful.
Oh, that was terrible.
I loved it at first and then it was awful.
Yeah. We would text each other and be like, "Oh, this is actually bad. Did you hate that episode too?"
Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
haven't watched any good gay media lately. I need to catch up on Young Royals. Sorry, that's how I celebrate Pride Month. I just watch gay TV.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the last season of that's out. I haven't watched that yet. Ooh.
Oh.
Anyway, speak of Pride Month and homophobia, Santino Ferrucci, as we alluded to several times now, he made a homophobic comment at the start of the
On
race.
June
and
1st at
yes,
10 a.m.
like
what?
he's
He
like
did not
kicking
wait.
it up. The day has barely started, and he's
like
already.
Some people probably didn't wake up yet. Like most gay
And-
people probably didn't wake up yet. They were still asleep.
So what happened was in a practice session, he gets into it with Kyle Kirkwood, and he goes and grabs Kyle Kirkwood. Like it was actually kind of crazy
Whoa.
when I
Grabs him?
whoa. Happy Pride.
Whoa! Who's the
Um,
boyfriend teammate here? I don't know. Ooh.
But he gets mad, and then I guess he was mad at Colton Herta too. And Colton says stuff to the media. Kyle says stuff to the media. They don't like Santino. It's pretty obvious. A lot of the
What?
IndyCar drivers don't like him.
I didn't know
Right?
that.
Shocking. But
Joseph Newgarden's the villain. I thought Joseph Newgarden was the
yeah,
villain,
that's
right?
what I thought. But Santino tells the media, like, oh, and his boyfriend teammate, referring to Colton Herta as Kyle Kirkwood's boyfriend teammate.
Because he was talking trash
And-
about Kyle Kirkwood. Like, well, him and his boyfriend teammate did the same thing to me.
Right. And not that any homophobic person is watching this podcast right now. Unless you're hate watching. Hey girl. So why is this homophobic? Even if you're an ally, maybe you don't understand why
Yeah.
it's homophobic. He is using the word boyfriend as an insult. That's basically what it is. Is that's his boyfriend teammate. Like it's used as an insult.
Like
And it's not being soft.
like
it's
these
literally
guys
just like
suck
you're
so
using-
much.
Yeah.
What he's saying is these guys suck. They're stupid, and I bet they're gay too.
Right. Pretty much.
Yeah, that's basically what he said.
And
like
look,
I wasn't to be honest at the moment. I found it kind of funny, but also
I thought
I'm
it was
just,
funny, but it is.
But that's because
wrong.
I've just learned to tolerate Santino's foolishness, and
yeah,
I don't know because like I not like that. What he said surprised me. It was still gross though, and I'm glad at least we weren't the only ones to think that because a lot of people were kind of like upset about it, which rightfully so.
Well, an IndyCar itself, they talked to Santino about it, and Santino did put out an apology, and I don't think I necessarily forgive.
I don't accept it. I hate him, and I'm just well. I don't accept it. I just don't accept it because that was a PR kind of
because it was a PR thing. But I think it's good that IndyCar was like, hey, you can't say that. I don't
one
like
week
that
after the Indy 500.
Right. I don't like that IndyCar removed the video of him saying it. I think you really, if you want to have personalities, you do need to show that and be like, hey, I'll curse, I don't care. If you want to have your drivers be assholes, then sure. That's fine. But like there's repercussions to
we
things
have
that they say.
homophobic drivers too.
Yeah.
That's why you should watch our series if you like NASCAR so much.
But what I'm saying is they should have kept the video up there.
Yeah,
because
you're right.
taking it down is just like, oh come on, like that. They're actually like kind of fighting. They don't like each other. Crazy. but I
Okay,
think it's
but
good. Yeah.
Santino has no place to be calling anybody gay. The way he was yelling at Kyle Kirkwood. Let me
Oh,
reenact
here we
it.
go.
I wish my hair was curlier. You ran into me. You pushed me up the track. What did he say? Never do that again. That's how he said it.
Sassy.
Never do that again. You guys are gay, honey. I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind if Kyle Kirkwood was my boyfriend teammate.
Oh, am I
I'd
not
like
good enough for you? Is that what you're saying?
your name's not Kyle. I like Kyles. I like people named Kyle.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I see. I see
Yeah.
how it is. Anyway, NASCAR was Xfinity Series was in Portland, and Zach, you wanted to talk about it. I did not watch this. I watched the end of the race, but
What do you mean? Oh, you did. Okay. I was going to say you didn't watch it. I'm like, you had 3 races on at the same time and you got to choose. I'm like, you choose Portland, right? But so a few things. One, I hate standalone weekends unless they're going to a track like this where it's actually kind of a cool racetrack. It's a cool road course. However, when they have standalone weekends for these Xfinity and Truck Series, NASCAR has a bunch of weird rules for good reasons because a lot of times Xfinity teams use the Cup pit crews. Obviously, the Cup pit crews are traveling to St. Louis for the Cup race, or they're in St. Louis for the Truck race as well. However, they they try to have these non-competitive pit stops. I guess I don't even know if that's what they're called, but they put a time minimum on the pit stop so that if you don't have a full pit crew, that's okay. You have plenty of time to get your stop done and not lose track position. So you have to have a 63-second pit stop, like from when you enter pit road to exit pit road. That needs to be 63 seconds. That's a lot of math, isn't it?
I didn't even know this was a thing.
But doesn't it sound stupid though? Because what teams
Yeah.
have to do is they have to basically do the math. I'm like, okay, so it's going to take us this long to get to the end of pit road. So we need to subtract this number. And then at this number, after we pass that line, we can let our car go back onto pit road. What are we doing?
Were there penalties for people going over?
I don't know. I don't even remember. It's just like so complicated. Like, it's just like, I feel like NASCAR, they just lose their minds on a standalone weekend and they forget how to officiate a racing series. Just have non-competitive pit stops, give them 5 minutes or whatever. I don't know. At that point, just stop having standalone races. Low key. I'm not a big fan of them anyways.
I will say I thought it was pretty cool that some of the crew chiefs were like going over the wall and changing stuff on the car too. I thought that was kind of old school.
That was
but
cool.
Other than that, I didn't know this was a thing. So
It's
thank
just
you for
dumb.
sharing, Zach.
They need I just need to complain about something. So they need to simplify that. Okay.
Got you. Well, you wanted to complain about something else because last week we talked about the bathroom situation in Indianapolis. And we got a response about that. Kind of echoing what I said, like I went to dirt tracks. Peter at Mr. Petey on social media said he grew up going to local short tracks. They always had the trows instead of the urinals as well. And for some reason, each toilet stall had holes in them too. I was clueless. What does this mean, and why do you want to bring it up, Zach? Because
well, I feel like you're an expert on this, on both of these topics, actually, on going to dirt tracks and possibly the reason why the toilet stalls have holes in the wall. I feel like you're an expert. So, do you have?
What does that mean? There's just giant holes on the doors?
I don't know. Did you see those when you went to dirt tracks?
Oh. I thought when I read this, I thought it was just
that was just
cracks between the doors.
I thought that was just a thing. Okay, well, I don't know. What are those holes for?
I thought
Is there something I'm not doing in the bathroom that I should be?
I'm sure some people do. Some people do it.
Are they celebrating Pride Month?
Probably. When I saw that, I thought it meant the creases between each door. I thought that's what you meant.
I'm imagining big circular holes. So I don't know.
Oh,
Oh, what
I
are they
don't
doing in the
know.
bathrooms, Alex? I don't know.
I
You go
don't.
to dirt
I
tracks.
don't
I don't
know.
go to dirt tracks. That's why I'm asking you.
Oh,
This
you want to
isn't
go to a
answer.
dirt track?
I don't know if I want to go to a dirt track anymore. I don't know if I need to go anymore.
Uh,
I'm good. I don't need to go anymore. It's like I'm like, Alex, I'm gonna go pee. I'll be right back. And then I go in there and I see holes in the stalls. I'm like, no, I don't need to go anymore. I'm good.
oh my gosh.
In fact, Alex, let's go
Well,
home.
well, that was a great tea segment. Zach
That
got
was great.
homophobic. You ranted.
I got homophobic. I would never hate a gay person besides you.
Yeah, besides me, I'm
There's
honored.
probably some gay
So,
person I hate. Like James Charles. He's like, isn't he problematic? I don't know. I don't actually know.
well, let's talk about fantasy because I finally on the board in IndyCar. So I got the win. So I
In a
picked
big
Scott
way.
Dixon.
That
Yeah.
happened to me last year. Remember, I had 0 points coming into Detroit, and then I picked Alex Palou, and he won at Detroit.
Yeah.
So big win. You're back on the board.
Very cool. And
Who do
then
you think?
NASCAR, it is 10-7. I lead. You did get the point in Sonoma.
Thank God. Thank you. And Sonoma and Gateway.
In Gateway. We're going to Sonoma.
Yeah.
All right. So
Oh.
are we doing NASCAR first?
I guess so. I guess we are doing NASCAR Sonoma first. All right.
All right.
Let me get my pick. You can. Okay, I was just double checking. All right. Are you ready?
I have to grab an image. Sorry.
Okay. Me too. I don't know why I asked if you were ready because I wasn't ready either.
Oh, just okay.
I'm just gaslighting now. Being
right.
homophobic and gaslighting. I'm having a
I'm
great
ready.
Pride Month. I'm just off to on a roll.
I can tell. Are you ready?
After I drink this water. Okay, yeah, I'm ready. All right. 3, 2, 1. I'm trying to pick Chase Elliott, and Alex is picking Denny Hamlin
Yeah.
at a road course?
I'm going with
At a
Dennis.
road course. At a road
Yeah.
course. At
Yeah.
a road course? He said himself that he sucks at the road courses.
It's his year, right? He's been saying that it's his year.
Oh, that's a layup. Thank you, Alex. Chase is gonna my bro. I know I only pick I know Chase hasn't won in the next gen on a road course, but he's still like really good. Surprisingly.
So my reasoning for picking Denny is that he's just been super consistent pretty much all year, and I'm just like, well, he's probably gonna finish top 5 again.
Oh. Well, I picked
That's why.
someone who's also very consistent, so it's the battle of consistency.
Mm.
All right.
All right.
Well, that was shorter than I thought it was. All right.
IndyCar. I
IndyCar
wasn't
at Road
gonna pick
America.
Chase. IndyCar at Road America. Well, I was about to do like, oh, this is actually kind of difficult, but it's probably not, to be
I don't know.
honest.
You ready?
Yeah, copying the
All right.
image. All right, I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. I'm trying to pick Alex Palou. Yeah, I saw that one coming.
Yeah.
All right. Next. Are we
Just
just gonna
gotta
do
get
that every
the-
week?
Probably.
I don't know. It depends. If he starts falling off, then maybe not. Like if he has a really bad race at Road America, I might be like, oh, okay, well. All right. Are you ready?
All right, I'm getting a picture. I am ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. I'm trying to pick Scott Dixon. Oh, you went with Joseph. I was wondering if you're
Joseph.
going to go with Joseph. Okay.
He's stunting. You see that pose? He's stunting.
I love this picture. Joseph was my next pick.
Really?
I went with Scott to be defensive because
It was Scott Dixon. Yeah.
Scott Dixon, yes, because I still have some reservations with Joseph's performance at road courses. I'm unsure.
Fair.
I know he was fast at Detroit and he kind of fell victim to chaos, but I don't know. I still have some reservations, so I
Fair.
went with Scott as the safer. Since I had the points lead, I'm like, okay, Scott's going to get a good result. He's won at Road America, I think in 2020. I don't know if he's won since then, but he's been pretty consistent there, so I feel good about that. And
Yeah.
he's just been on fire this year, so yeah.
I feel like Joseph's gonna really get some rest this week. He's gonna
Yes.
recharge, and he's gonna be back to how he was at Indy. And I was very concerned with him going into the month of May, but Obviously, he figured that out. And he ran okay at Detroit, despite I know he had the issues and everything, but he himself was running good. And
Yes, he
that
qualified good. Yeah.
turn one thing happened. And yeah, he qualified good. That was a big problem on the road courses before. It wasn't this time. I feel good about Joseph. I do.
You should. I think this is one of Joseph's better road course tracks. So
It is. Yeah.
I think he's gonna do good this weekend. So this is gonna be an interesting battle. You might be on the comeback. I mean,
Well,
Joseph
yeah,
could go out and win, and then you're tied with me.
I know.
So
I
wow,
think it's definitely very possible.
you're gonna be extra gay this weekend rooting for Joseph. Then that's
And
why
Denny Hamlin, I only picked the hot people. Like,
I hate when you pick Joseph because then I'm like, I don't want Joseph to win, but I do want Joseph to win.
exactly.
I don't know how to live with it.
It's a mind game.
It's a mind game. No, it's just you being a
What?
boyfriend teammate.
Oh,
Being a
okay.
boyfriend teammate.
Well, everyone, that's it from my boyfriend, teammate, and I. My boyfriend, teammate is Zach. I am Alex. Thank you for listening or watching. And again, you can get 15% off your first purchase at Home Field Apparel with GRP217. Again,
Good job.
GRP217.
217.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have a lot of cool stuff. You can write a review, 5-star review on Apple Podcast or a kind comment on YouTube.
We haven't got
read
one
it.
in a while. We haven't
Yeah,
gotten
guys,
we ain't
we're
gotten a
making-
review in a while.
Making us sad.
Yeah.
It's Pride Month. Come on,
It is
make us
Pride
happy.
Month. Come on. We deserve to be happy. Well, I guess by definition we're happy.
True.
Judging from that rainbow in your background. Oh,
Very
I have a
true.
pride flag. I didn't even use it. I meant to use this episode. Woo!
Well, guess what? We have a whole month.
We have a whole month. Woo!
Woo! Cute. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/gayracingpod. There is a video of me that's been over there for a while now. I don't know if I'll ever make it to YouTube, honestly.
Oh, the
It's
diecast
just-
thing. I still need to watch that.
You say that every week. Fake. You are so fake. I don't know if I'll ever leave Patreon, to be honest. It's just there.
So you need to get
I went-
Patreon to watch it.
Exactly.
I'm gonna make one like that
all
soon. As soon as
Yeah.
I get all my stuff organized and
Yeah, that helps support us. It helped us a lot on our trip to Indianapolis. Really appreciate our current subscribers over there. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on socials at Gay Racing Pod. Look out for Zach's apology note over there at Dreamy Zach Racing, and I'm at Newgaden. And with that, Zach, you can.
We'll see
take
you
us
guys
home.
next time to talk about NASCAR at Sonoma and IndyCar at Road America. Should be an interesting week. I think Le Mans is next weekend too, isn't it?
Ooh,
I
it
might
might
be wrong.
be.
It might be the weekend
think
after.
it might
I'm not
be.
sure. I don't pay attention.
It's coming
I'll have
up.
to ask Avery. I'll have to ask Avery. Well, we'll have plenty of racing to talk about next week. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.